Item: SCP-741. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. As the object has sunk to an extreme depth and is surrounded by a region of elevated pressure, it is largely isolated from external influence. Nevertheless, periodic monitoring by sonar and/or submersible should be conducted to ensure that it has not been tampered with. Russia has actively encouraged the use of the Foundation-contracted Russian warships SCPs Basisty and Krasnoyarsk for these purposes. In the event of activity within the exclusion zone surrounding SCP-741, Procedure 353 Koshi is to be enacted. This procedure entails the use of nuclear and conventionally armed RPK-2 Vyuga anti-submarine surface missiles aboard the Krasnoyarsk. Any movement of 741 is to be met immediately with a nuclear strike. All other contacts are to be engaged with conventional warheads. Description: SCP-741 is a sunken Soviet submarine. It sank in March 1968. However, the Foundation did not take over custody of the vessel until 1999. The submarine itself is a version of the Charlie II class, carrying 8 P-120 Malachit anti-ship missiles. Prior to sinking, the submarine had been deployed under unusual circumstances which garnered the attention of Western intelligence agencies. The United States government attempted to recover the vessel in the early 1970s, an operation known as Project. This was moderately successful, though precisely what it recovered was never disclosed. In the late 1990s, agents within the U.S. government, affiliated with Redacted, contacted the Foundation with news of a potential Euclid or Keter-class object within the wreck. Following negotiations, the Foundation took custody of the wreck and has had it under surveillance ever since. The vessel lies on the ocean floor in 3 pieces. Evidence suggests that the hull was broken apart during the project recovery attempt, and that it was largely intact at the time that it sank, save for a hole just forward of the sail and another further aft, just below the starboard missile tubes. Debris recovered from this hole indicates that the sub was struck by a P-120 Malachit anti-ship missile while surfaced. One of the boat's own P-120 missiles has been fired. The submarine appears to have sunk due to rapid flooding following the missile strike. No remains of the crew have been found, either within the vessel or in the vicinity, and all emergency escape equipment is untouched. Divers sent to investigate reported anomalous currents, abnormal sea life, moans, unexplained voices and unintelligible whispering, and the presence of blurry, faintly glowing figures. Sea life in the area has been observed to be unusually aggressive. A diver was seriously injured by a large squid of unknown species, and on 2 occasions, observation submersibles have been aggressively approached by sharks and large squid. The wreck is surrounded by an anomalous pressure gradient extending approximately 250 meters centered on a point 30 meters aft of the center of the submarine. Within the affected region, pressure is much greater than is expected for the depth. This is believed to be the reason why Project could not recover the entire submarine. It has also significantly hampered further salvage and investigation efforts. The extreme pressure differential makes analysis with sonar difficult, as very high amplitudes are required. Special protection is also required for divers to approach the wreck. What records the Foundation has been able to obtain from Russia and the United States about the submarine strongly suggest that it was being used to carry some secret cargo, the nature of which is still unknown. Code words used in the Russian documents imply that the secret cargo did not have anything to do with the typical nuclear or chemical weapons of the day. A mention is made of Project Redacted, a Soviet data expunged